Okay, hello again. So I said it would be a real quick one today. I think I said that on the first one. All right. But I just feel that this it's important to have part one and part two of this particular segment together, right? It just kind of makes sense to do that. Why wait? All right. And so welcome to Experienced Artistic Consultants. And yes, that's with an S. Um, is growing. Okay. Let's just say that. All right. So this channel has switched up. Once again, it was Zakia Yasharella, but that was a very spiritual journey that I was on at the time of making, these videos, and it really helped me out a lot. It really did. So it brought me here. And the idea is to help artists and art businesses and services to uh, brand themselves and create better outreach, you know, and content, if you will, believe it or not, because this is about social media marketing and promotion as well. So, which is something that every artist, uh, it doesn't matter who you are really, but it's important that we all get the understanding that this thing of being online is not, it's just not going to go away. No, it's not. Okay, let's get that together there. All right. Real bad with my accent of Jamaican, but anyway. Okay, so um if you saw the first video, we covered like 10, right, of the things that beginning artists just should know, right? And nobody's, I wish someone had told me these things um, when I first started. And they may seem like no-brainers, and they may seem like you don't need to know these things. But trust me, you do when you're getting out here and you want to make and you want to make a living, right? Because um, believe it or not, there are artists out here that are making buku money, right? Making a living off of their artistic services and their artistic byproducts, if you will. And so you want to be one of those. I know I do. Okay. And yes, once again, this is my cluttered space here. This is my little studio workplace, and I'm a practicing visual artist, and I've been doing it for over 25 plus years. And I've once again had the opportunity to meet with and do work for, as far as writing art curriculum and arts outreach for some of Chicago's leading art academic institutions and community services, helping them put together proposals or actually writing the proposals for them to um, better their outreach to their artistic uh, audience, if you will, or community, right? Bringing those artists in and bringing those art advocates together. Because one thing people don't, did a fly just do that? Yes, it did. Okay. Well, one thing some people don't recognize is the influence that art and artists bring into their community and how it upgrades their community, right? Because I know in Chicago, I think it was Wicker Park. Wicker Park has not always been known to be the upcrust as it is known today. Be the where you can tell, money just walks and breathes over in that area. Wasn't always like that. So what they did was real quick, they ended up, when I say they, of course, I put quotes on it. Um, the people, the powers that be, ended up hiring all these artists. Yeah, that's a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle club across the street. Okay. Anyway, people ended up investing in these artists the businesses over there ended up investing in these artists to come into the neighborhood. And the neighborhood was actually, I guess you could even say it looked ghetto at one time. It really did. It was just really no one really wanted to live there except for artists, right? And so what the artists did, they come in and they, and they really, they did murals, and sculptings and sculpture everywhere, and they started opening up more crafts and art type of opportunities and all that kind of stuff, and it just really started to bring more and more people in. So now you have doctors again and lawyers and educators and just people with some nice money living over in those areas, and no longer can just the normal average working soul live in these areas anymore. So that's just I just put that out there just to say that the artists are making money, and we are making a living, um, and a happy living really off of our talent. And so one of the major things that I want to do with this channel is help, at least I want to help about 1 million people, believe it or not, right? um Hey, you reach for what they say, reach for the moon, get the stars, or something like that. Okay, but it is important that to help 1 million people, especially in the creative realm, because a lot of our talent is usually stuffed down, and it goes unnoticed because we're pretty much taught in traditionally that get that 9 to 5, get that degree, get that 9 to 5, get that family, and then our actual gifts and talents become smothered or forgotten about, and that's a shame because that creative gift is something that is meant to bring you joy and to put you at peace, and it's just it's not really to be taken for granted. But now I'm talking from an art therapy perspective too. So, but I also know it to be true from self evaluation over time. Okay, so let's just jump on in here now, and we're going to pick up. I guess you would say this is, I'm just going to call it number one, but it's actually 11. Okay. Now, it's not in any particular order, right? But you can put them in any type of order you need to. All right. So this one, number one, don't get the big head. Now, this is something that I ended up doing in the earlier part of my career. And like I said earlier, I had the opportunity to work with some of Chicago's leading, art academic institutions and community services and all of that. And I I knew that I had a talent for drawing and painting. And when I received my BFA in art education and art therapy, I knew also that I had a gift to teach others, right? And I started to be wanted more and more. People were calling me up and asking, could I do this? Could I write them that? Could you do this proposal? Can you help me? Blah blah blah. And so that was great. And getting paid. I think I was getting paid like um, I was getting paid somewhere between, I would say, 4,000, 6,000 a month, right? I don't get that today, but it fluctuates. I have my ups and I have my downs, right? Okay, so now, but what happened is I got the big head, and I just started telling people, you know, where they can really get off at. And especially when it came down to my money, because like I said before, I work under contracts. And so it's not personal that I work under contracts. It's just that I know that that's something to keep everybody legit, uh, but anyway, to make it a long story short, I did piss a couple of people off that um, had some very good connections, and that could have definitely helped even broaden my career at that time. But uh, I I don't know. Like I said, I got vain and I got uppity, if you will. And I didn't choose my words carefully, and I burnt some bridges that I wish I hadn't have. And so, word to the wise, a word from the wise on that. Try not to do that. Try not to do that. Try to be humble, right? And choose your words carefully. Mhm. Okay. Let's see. Number 2 or 12. All right. I always have my notes. Okay. So now this is important as well. They're all important, but stop looking for others to validate your work, right? And so what I mean by that is a lot of times artists will sell out, okay? But we tend to sell out because that's where we want to go where the money is. Okay. We want to go where the money is. And so we may not enjoy uh, doing landscapes, but we'll do landscapes because we found that that's our target market, or that particular market has more potential and prospects. They have potential prospects. And so, excuse me, we will not practice what we really love, right? We won't practice our portrait drawing or our still lifes and stuff like that because we found that this other genre is going to pay more. Now, that's part of validation as well, okay? Because that's like letting the artist know that they're doing something really well and that, people are willing to pay for it, which brings it even more value and worth. And that, I mean, to each his own. We all have to do what we have to do, but just be very, you know, careful and cautious about leaving your passion or leaving a great part of your passion because it'll come back and nip you in the butt later, right? It's like an actor getting pigeonholed in a certain role, right? Like I don't know, um, Steve Urkel. You see him today. I'm sure the guy has a name. Matter of fact, I was just seeing a documentary on him the other day, which it was so sad because he's a good actor, but we only know him as Urkel, and he's a grown man now. And so, and so he could never actually, excuse me, he could never actually get another uh, job outside of this surrealistic character. So, you know, just know that be true to yourself as much as you possibly can. It's one thing to do work on commission and all of that, but for the most part, you really want to pump out work that you feel good about, that you're comfortable with doing, and eventually the money will come. And that's the truth. I mean, it takes a little work, and especially today when we're dealing with the SMMP, type of thing, the social media marketing and promotion. Although the word of mouth is very great, no, no, you can't take the word of mouth away. However, since we are dealing today with this social distancing, and it's also going to take an effect on the psyche of people. So a lot of people are becoming more and more used to going online and purchasing things, than going actually out to the shops and stuff like that. So it is what it is. It's taking over, and you're going to have to get used to it. And yeah. But anyway, I don't know if I digressed or not, but yeah, stop looking for others to validate your work. Um, let's see. I think it'd be 13. If art is truly your passion, continue to pursue it, right? and being one of the best at it. But that means not so much as trying to be better than a well-known artist of today or one of yesteryear, but being the best at what you do. Okay. And that means that you have to cultivate. That means that you have to practice, practice, practice. That also means that you may have to take some classes. You may have to be, you have to be honest about the level where you are along your talent, along your gift, right? And you have to be honest about what you need to improve. Okay. I found that through teaching, youth as well as adults, a lot of times, you know, they want to be, they want to draw like Picasso or, um, I don't know. Right now, my mind kind of goes blank on the well-known artists that most people know. But anyway, just to give you an idea, Michelangelo and all of that. And it's like that's one of the reasons why also when I do a class, I don't show my artwork to the students right away, right? Because I imagine that they already did their research on me. Okay, and they already know if they're going to get their money's worth or not, right? And the reason why I don't show my work right away is because I don't want them trying to draw like me. I want you to get them the understanding about the materials and supplies and what these tools can do and how you can best use them for what you do, how you can best use them to express yourself, right? So, am I on the right thing here? Yeah, okay. So, if art is a passion for you, then go for it. You know, take some classes, um take some online classes even or whatever, but stick with it. Everything takes patience, everything takes time, takes patience, and the only way that you're going to get better at anything, once again, is that we practice, practice, practice. And yes, I would say, you can improve by it's a word I'm looking for, you can improve by tracing or copying, if you will, um, the works of another person. I love Rembrandt and oh, it's another one too. Uh, it's been a minute, but I know I love Rembrandt because I love his drawings, right? His play with lights and darks and and shadow and stuff. And so I really learned a great deal by copying his work and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, I didn't I still didn't know my my real creative ability, right? So just know that if you are passionate about, your art, it's going to come through. But the best way that it can come through is when you are working on yourself and building up your own, talent and skills by whatever means necessary and however you can. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Number 14. So, charging. Charging for your work, right? So if you want to go professional, then you have to start charging as a professional. So all professionals start out one way, right? We don't start out professional. We have to kind of, you know, ease on in there, so to speak. So we we have to, and I use the word have to because it's something that we a lot of us shy away from. We shy away from charging for our work. For one reason, I think it's because a lot of us in the beginning don't believe we don't have enough faith in ourselves. We don't believe that our work is worthy of pay, right? So what we have to do is build up our self-confidence, our self-esteem. And the only way that we could do that is by getting out there, taking a chance, exploring, examining what works, what doesn't work, um, you know, being all right with seeming silly or being made a fool of. These are how these things is how we learn, right? And so it's like it's you just have to encompass all of that. You know, um, if someone and this was really okay. I remember um, at the school, and they would give the art exhibit. We'd have the Christmas art exhibit, right? And it was just great because, the school being downtown, and so it was near. Once again, it was near the money, and so that was great. And I did make money. This young lady, I think she was in her. I think she may have been in her second year, of college, and I think I was in my third year. And we did the show together, and this guy comes up, and he's a heavy set white guy. Had He was kind of messy. Anyway, he comes up and he looks at my work, and he didn't say much about it. He just kind of nodded his head and everything. Then he looks at the young lady's work and he says, "What kind of crap is that? Who told you that you were an artist? You don't need to be in here. You need to take that crap down." Oh, I thought, how devastating. Because as artists, we're sensitive, as Erica Badu says. We are sensitive about it, right? So I felt bad for her. She handled it really well, but I can kind of see behind her, her facial expression that she was hurt by it. And so, you know, I didn't know what to tell her. I just kind of said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but your work is not as bad as he is saying it is." Who even wants to hear that, right? So anyway, I don't know. I just thought about that. People can be very insensitive. Okay, so anyway, just if you're going to go professional, learn about the pricing, the salary. Most beginning artists, um, depending on the level of their skills or whatever, um, charge between $15 an hour. You may get 25 depending on the amount of years, if you're honest about how long you've actually been out here. So you'll, 1 to, I would say 1 to 4 years is considered beginning artist, a beginning artist. Get in the house. I can't stand them. I can't. Anyway, I'm going to get you too. I'm talking to this fly. So anyway, yeah, 1 to 4 years, right? And you would charge about $15, $15 to $25 an hour. Now, if you are intermediate and you've been at it from, say, from that 6 to 8 years, right? And then you can charge, that 25. You can start out with that $25 an hour to about, I would say, 35, right? And then if you are advanced and you have more than 8 years under your belt, and your talent, your level is up there, then you can freely charge anywhere from $25 an hour and upward, right? Because when I was out there, uh, taking in these contracts and stuff, believe it or not, I was making between, I could charge 45 to 55 dollars an hour, which was nice, right? So, needless to say, at that time, my checks were very nice, right? So, and actually, you can make that type of money working for a lot of these, um, I would say, like what is the name? After School Matters programs, art resource and teaching type of programs and stuff like that. I don't know if you ever heard of ART, but if you were from Chicago, you've heard of them, which is they pay really nice as well. Chicago Public Art Group, who actually got contracts through the school system and private and public school systems as well to hire out artists to come and work with their population um, for some time. And so, just looking at my phone. All right. So those are things to just think about, right? I mean, artists do get paid we do get paid. And it's important that if you are out here, you should uh, look to get paid. Simple as that. I mean, that shouldn't be the be all, the end all, but it is certainly significant uh, if you are passionate about it. All right. Because you can have a hobby. I'm not saying that, but that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about those of us who want to brand ourselves and we want to be the best uh, at what we do, right? Simple as that. Find out individuality. Okay. What else? I think this is number 15. If you're out here and charging for work, right? Then you need to keep your receipts, right? You got to become a good record keeper. I'm not the best at it. Most of us are not the best at it. Most artists, being realistic, we just want to do what we do. We want to, um, do our art form and forget about the rest, right? And we really don't even want to pay anybody to take care of the rest, but you really have to. It's important that you do start keeping um, really good records, receipts, and stuff like that. That's very important. And, when you do an exhibit, and this is just to throw this in here, whenever you do an exhibit, make sure that that you keep track of uh, the people that view your work, right? So you want to, back in the day, we would always have a book, right? And or notebook, and people would sign it. Okay. They will put their name and their contact information so that when, they could stay abreast of when we come back or wherever we'll be at next or what have you, right? And we can send them out information. So when you have a website, you definitely want to make sure that whoever visits your website, that they will sign up, right? Especially because they become potential prospects, they become clients or what have you. If you're actually writing curricula and all of that. So just make sure that you have a way of keeping in touch with your people. Right, that's your potential market right there. That's your potential target market. Even if they don't buy anything from you right away, they show an interest in what you're doing, which is great, and that's what you want. All right. Um, let's see. Number 16. Um, I think we talked about that though. Stay loyal to yourself. You want to stay loyal to yourself, right? And create what flows naturally for you and develop on that. But you also have to be realistic if you want to advance. If you have to take a class or what have you, then take that class. Now, another thing I'll throw in here too, when we are going to school, oh, my sinuses. When we decide to return to school, we really want to make sure that we're getting what's going to be of value for us in the long run. So we really want to make sure that, okay, I'll just give an example. If you want to just learn how to draw, paint and draw, then okay, then take a couple of classes, right? But if you want to become professional out here and you want to also teach, and have your own practice, eventually, your own freelance business and stuff, these things you need to think about before you actually go register and enroll in any type of institution, academic institution. You want to consider these things because you're going to have to pay this money back. And so if you're not sure, you may just want to go to a community college, take a couple of classes, or find an artist that you admire and respect that's giving some classes out, and maybe they'll give you a couple of private classes or what have you. Me personally, I enjoyed doing private classes with my adults. That was great. Um, but you don't want to just spend money just to spend money that you don't have, or time that you're going to look back and wish you hadn't have spent, and you would have spent it somewhere else. So jot down, why do you want to return to school for, um, um, what is it? What do you want to get out of it? You know, um, and where do you see yourself once you're done? How long do you think this is going to take? And what are you going to be doing in the meantime, to keep that money, your finances flowing and stuff? You have to consider these things before you just jump into it, because I see a lot of folk do that. And then, you spent all this money and, just to find out, hey, I'm happy being a construction worker, and my gift, I just want to use it as a hobby. But sometimes you might have to go through all of those other things in order to find out where you want to be. And that's the beautiful part about art to me. Art also helps us discover where we want to be. We may not want to be that artist. We may not. But going through that artistic process helped us to realize maybe we have some other talents, that we can exploit and explore, whatever. So those are just that's just something to think about. Um, let's see, 17, I think. Don't underestimate your social media marketing and promotion. Do not underestimate. I cannot stress that. I know I said it before because it's true. We are at a time where people are not coming out, and coming physically into any type of domain now. So a lot of people are doing things online. So now, if you want to, you know, you plan on branding yourself, right? You plan on getting out there, and you're gonna have to sit down with a consultant, an arts consultant, someone who is familiar with being an artist. Um, because the worst thing to me is when you're talking with someone who's familiar with how to market. I don't know, they know how to market sportswear and all that kind of stuff, but they don't know how to market art, but yet they want to market the art. Those are two different type of things, right? And so you want to get with someone, if you do it, you want to get with someone who is experienced in what you do, and they have a track record, showing you, how they literally upgraded themselves as well as someone else, or others, right? Um, in their social media marketing and promotion. You know, don't just take the word of someone, and especially if you're paying for it, and even if you're not paying for it, remember, your reputation is the only thing that you're going to live and die with. And so you want to build a good, trusting, loyalty type of relationship, right, with people. And you need someone who knows how to do that. right? So don't underestimate the power of SMMP, because that's where we are today. And a lot of artists, like I said, we just really don't want to be bothered with all that. We'd rather just sit up and create. Now, like I said, you could hire someone like myself who's familiar with the process. That can help get you out there and brand you, and you know and get you going. Or you could just research these things on yourself, and that's part of what this channel can. We I want to help you do that. I want to also help you do that free. You know, um, not everything's going to be free, but but the stuff that that will be offered freely is going to help you. You just have to apply it. Knowledge without application is nothing. There's no power there, right? So you have to apply the knowledge. Okay. All right. So now what we do now. Okay. So um, I think 18. So mm, we kind of talked about it too, though. Be honest about your level of talent, gift, and knowledge within your field of the arts. So if you lack something, then you need to build on it. You need to um, be honest about that. You know. So if your skills is lacking um, in painting and drawing, or writing, or sculpting, or performance, then do something about it. You don't have to just sit there and not and just sulk about it, and oh, woe is me. No, take the bull by the horns, nip it in the bud, and just do what you got to do. Right? Because there are a lot of free things happening right now online. Okay, just get on there, take advantage of that Google bar. Okay, so in 20, volunteering. All right, as a freelancer, it doesn't mean I work for free, although I have been known to do that. It all depends. So, as a freelancer, though, well, as a person that wanted to get out here and learn the ins and outs, and I did that by volunteering a lot of times. I even opened up um, most of my jobs, honestly, since I've been freelancing as an artist, have come from me first volunteering, and then opening up a job for myself. Right. And so that's the benefit of volunteer. When you volunteer, you're forming a connection, you're networking, you are you're strengthening your skills, your knowledge, your talent, in so many areas. And so even though you may not be getting paid, right, monetarily, but you are getting paid because you are now you're generating more connections, and you are actually learning as you go, and you're learning how to open up space for yourself in what you do, right? Um, so keep in mind, when you do volunteer, you should really volunteer in places that you want to work, right? That you want to um, partake in, right? Um, and places where you can actually learn more about where you want to be and how you're going to get there. I hope that makes sense. So, okay, so that's another 10 right there. And so if you watch the first one, you get that first 10, and so that's a total of 20. But there are others, but I just wanted to put those particular ones out here today because it's something that we really, a lot of artists today need to understand and identify those things. All right. So, on that note, I will say thank you for watching and listening, and I hope you got something out of it. Please use the commentary. Um, if you can add something along those, these lines on this topic, because it's about helping one another. The goal and the objective for this channel is actually to help a million people, right? Achieve their goals and follow, and do what, pretty much to do what they love to do. Okay, that's what it's about. Um, so along the way, we're going to touch on creativity a lot. We're going to touch on spirituality. We're going to touch on financial issues. We're going to touch more on academia issues, topics, and what's going on today, and how the arts, fit into today's world, um, even more so than we ever have before, and how to, market ourselves and find our target market, right? And we want to do it organically. We don't want to pressure anybody into following us or being with us or any of that, because when we are true to ourselves, we're going to find that other people tend to enjoy that realness about us, and we'll find our true friends, our true connections, our true value and worth, and all that good stuff along the way. It just takes time, right? And you have to have faith in yourself. And self-esteem comes from self. Self-esteem does not come from anywhere else. It comes from you. And so hopefully this channel along the way will help you get that self-esteem you need, and to further yourself along so that you can find your joy and be happy along the journey. All right. All right. So best creative regards to you. And we'll see you next time. I think the next time, though, told you I got a motorcycle club across the street, so yeah, and my door is open. But next time we're going to, well, you can leave me something in the comments area if you want to hear something in particular. But I think we're going to talk about steps to the artistic career. And well, sometimes my notes get kind of crazy, I tell you. But anyway, yeah, whatever we do, it's going to be artsy and it's going to be fun, and we'll this channel will pick up, and with your help. So please subscribe if you found anything of value here, and share it, and it may help some others also along their artistic journey. All right. In the meantime, best creative regards. Bye for now.